Hello, I'm Clark Crawford, and welcome back to the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports, where today I'll be giving you an Astros versus Giants series preview, which begins tonight in the Bay Area at Oracle Park, which is the San Francisco Giants ballpark. Before I get into the series preview, I'm going to give you an injury report for both teams because, well, both squads are missing significant pieces from their respective teams, and well, it impacts both teams as they both sit in third place in their divisions. The Giants' two biggest offseason acquisitions are on the IL. Blake Snell with the groin injury, as Snell did not receive the enormous free agency contract he was hoping for in the offseason. And well, he hasn't been very good, and he signed a short-term deal, so he's likely probably going to opt into that contract. The Giants offered him a 1+1 deal. And Snell's numbers so far in 2024, as he will not be pitching in this series, are as followed. He's 0-3 with a 9.51 ERA and 6 starts. Not very good. Blake Snell honestly couldn't be having a worse season for someone who signed a 1+1 deal with an opt-out. Jung-Ho Lee, their big acquisition stud from Japan, is likely out for the year. Had successful surgery repairing a torn labrum in his left shoulder. Lee is 25 years old, though he wasn't off to the best start in his major league career, hitting .262 with 2 homers and 8 RBIs through 37 games. His surgery was just less than a week ago. On the Astros side of things, as most of you probably already know, but once in a while I'll give an injury report in case something changes. And the injuries are as followed. Kendall Graveman, Jose Urquidy, and Christian Javier are all out for the year. Hopefully, Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers are going to be back at some point this year. I have optimism for Garcia, maybe sometime late July, early August. But McCullers, I can't even give you a timetable. I have no optimism for him, but might as well mention it just in case he pitches. And if he pitches, well, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But heck, he's injured and might as well mention him. And then, of course, Kyle Tucker recently joined this list this past week. Though the good news on Tucker is hopefully he'll be back this weekend for the Detroit Tigers series because the Astros are going to need him back in the lineup. Though they did pretty well without him. They won the 2 games on Monday and Tuesday. They lost Wednesday, and then they won Friday and Saturday without him and lost on Sunday. So really, they're 4-2 without Tucker, who exited early in the Cardinals game on Monday. So essentially they're 4-2 without him. And hopefully Tucker will be back sometime this weekend for a quick 3-game homestand against the Detroit Tigers. Into tonight's matchup, the Astros, as I just said, they've won 4 out of their last 6. And they sit at 6.5 games back, remaining in third place in the AL West. And next up are the pitching matchups for the 3-game series against the Giants, which, as I said, begins tonight. Astros sit at 30-36, and of course in third place in the AL West. And the Giants are 32-34, third in the NL West. So 2 third-place teams going at it. Should be an exciting series. And the pitching matchup for tonight's game is Spencer Arrighetti, who's 3-5 with a 5.79 ERA. In 46 2/3 innings, he's given up 52 hits, along with 55 strikeouts on the year. The Giants are sending out young southpaw left-handed pitcher Kyle Harrison, who is 4-3 with a 4.18 ERA and 71 innings pitched, giving up 77 hits along with 65 strikeouts on the year. In their last outing, Spencer Arrighetti, of course, was removed from the game after being struck by a comebacker line drive of over 100 miles an hour off the bat. Arrighetti's ready to go for tonight's start after only going 3 innings, giving up only 1 earned run. I'm sure he's ecstatic for what's hopeful for his sake, a bounce-back outing for tonight. Kyle Harrison is a young 22-year-old pitcher who, in his previous start, he went 6 innings, giving up 4 runs, 3 of them earned, while striking out 5. This is his first full season in the big leagues, as he pitched in a few games last year. So the Giants are hoping for their sake and from what they've seen from him so far this year, he has a bright future in this league because the Giants could sure use it. They've been a mediocre team the last few years, and they need some young players and young acquisitions desperately on their team. In two of the series on Tuesday night, Ronel Blanco takes the mound for the Astros, their best starter so far this year, in my opinion. I've said it many, many times. He's 5-2 with the 2.78 ERA. His ERA took a hit a little bit in his last start. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And his 2.78 ERA and 64 and 2/3 innings pitched, only giving up 41 hits to go along with 59 strikeouts. Jordan Hicks can really throw the ball. He can ramp it up to 100 miles an hour. He is 4-2 with a 2.82 ERA, 67 innings pitched, 57 hits allowed, and 59 strikeouts. His strikeout numbers are pretty good for it being his first season as a full-time starter. He's still trying to mix and match and, make sure he can get deep into the games for the Cardinals and not just be a 3 or 4 inning pitcher. But like I said, it's only his first full season as a starter, and he seems to be doing pretty well for himself with the 2.82 ERA. On both pitchers' last starts, we begin with Ronel Blanco. His last start, he suffered the loss against the St. Louis Cardinals on Wednesday of last week, allowing 4 runs and 5 2/3. He was not sharp. He gave up several home runs, arguably one of his worst, if not his worst start of the season, though in his first full breakout year, I expect he will be much better against the Giants tomorrow night. Blanco's opposition on the mound is Jordan Hicks, who was born in Houston, Texas. A little tidbit for you fans out there, just a little note, and I thought it was pretty cool to mention. Hicks was signed in the offseason. Previously, he was the Cardinals closer for a few years. As I mentioned, the Giants are transitioning him into a starter. Hicks gave up 2 runs, throwing 92 pitches in only 3 2/3 innings, resulting in a no decision as San Francisco won that game 9-3 against the Arizona Diamondbacks in his last start. 92 pitches in less than 4 innings, 3 2/3 to be exact, is a lot of pitches. So, like I said, Jordan Hicks, he's trying to mix and match his pitches and try to give the Giants some length this season. But as I also said, he's doing a pretty good job so far this year. So in your first full year starting to have a 2.82 ERA, I say that's been pretty successful. Just I hope he doesn't have success against my Astros, but we'll see what happens on Tuesday night. Today's series finale, an afternoon game, features aces of both team staffs, which is Framber Valdez, the Astros southpaw, who is 5-3 with the 3.53 ERA and 62 2/3 innings pitched, 55 hits and 50 strikeouts. And his mound partner is Logan Webb, 5-5 at 2.92 ERA, 86 1/3 innings pitched, 84 hits and 73 strikeouts. From the looks of it and everything, and looking through what Logan Webb's done so far this year, his 2.92 ERA is much better than what his record shows. So the Astros are going to have their hands full against Logan Webb in the series finale. Now to go over the offensive numbers before I go into the two pitchers pitching stats from their last start. Kyle Tucker, who unfortunately for the Astros is on the IL, still leads them in home runs by a wide margin. Yordan Alvarez is 13 to Kyle Tucker's 19. So he still has a 6-homer lead on Alvarez with his 266 average and 40 RBIs on the year. Like I mentioned earlier, hopefully Tucker's back this weekend against the Tigers. He still leads the Astros in homers and RBIs. Jeremy Pena, his 300 average is the team leader, though his on-base percentage lately has been plummeting. It was right around 365, 370 just about a month or so ago, and it's down to 322. So hopefully Jeremy Pena, I'm not expecting him to hit 300 all year, but hopefully his on-base percentage can get back up into the 350s, 60s, or 70s, because Jeremy Pena definitely needs to get on base more often than just getting hits. For the Giants side of things, Michael Conforto, 8 homers, a 255 average, and 22 RBIs. He leads the Giants in homers. They do not hit too many homers as they're in the bottom 10 in the league in home runs. So don't expect too much power from the Giants, but they are a scrappy team, so don't take them lightly if you're the Astros, because they will come back and smack you around, because they're a little bit of a streaky team, but they're more than capable of winning this series, as obviously any team is, but the Giants can sneak up on you and probably easily sweep you. They have a lot of good pitching, so watch out for them. Thairo Estrada leads the Giants with a 246 batting average. He also has a 277 on base percentage, along with his 32 RBIs to lead the club. So another guy to keep your eyes on is Michael Conforto, Thairo Estrada, and then, of course, their offseason acquisition, Matt Chapman, if he's in the lineup as well. So those are some of the Giants' offensive leaders, the guys to probably what most watch out for, and we'll see how this series plays out through the 3 games, Monday through Wednesday. As promised, Framber Valdez's numbers coming off of easily his best outing of 2024, resulting in a complete game last Friday where he gave up 1 run, striking out 8, and Valdez picked up his 5th win. It was a tribute outing to Christian Javier, who's unfortunately out for the year and maybe even out all of next year with Tommy John surgery. Logan Webb, similar to Framber, picked up his 5th win of the year in his last start on Friday. Webb and the Giants took down the Texas Rangers 5-2, where Webb lasted 7 innings, giving up 2 runs. And like I said, he picked up his 5th win of the year. Both pitchers had strong starts, and they're looking to add on to possibly both of their best outings of the year to continue some momentum they have coming into their start as mound opponents on Wednesday. So something to keep your eye on for the series finale. It should be a really good pitching matchup, 2 potential all-star pitchers as well. I'm really looking forward to this series as both teams are in desperate needs of a win, a series win, and a couple of wins. They need to stack wins together to get their back, both of them getting back into playoff contention. Both teams are 3-2 in their previous 5 games, and of course in 3rd place in their respective divisions. And they need to start stacking some wins together if they want to have a shot at the postseason. This is going to do it for the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Please like my video down below. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. And most importantly, subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next edition of Clark Crawford Sports later this week for an Astros versus Tigers series preview, and of course, Astros versus Giants series recap. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next edition.